Good afternoon from the road, everybody. No technical problems there, Mrs. Beatley Tone. We just were fashionably late, as they like to say in the industry. Andy Nichols here from Two Legs / Hands Across the Water / Backwards Traveler / anything these days. On the road here to recap two shows and doing it with a friend today, and that is Jeremy, aka Astrojer. Hello, Jeremy, and good afternoon from the Midwest. Your
Yes.
time zone.
You're in my time zone for once. Yes. Good. I guess I hope you got enough rest after the show, but I know how that is.
Oh yeah, we will
Yeah.
get to that. But
Yeah.
we decided to do a twofer today because again, it's kind of the McCartney fan network across America here. Really, when you think about it, when it's Joan starting out west, she took a break. Now I'm doing the Midwest. Jeremy did Des Moines as well. And now I started my second leg of the journey here, starting with last night Minneapolis and continuing on. But let's just say hello to everybody in the comments before we dive in to Des Moines and recap Jeremy's experience in Des Moines. Let's just say hello to Elvin. Hello. There she is. Hello there, Mrs. Beatley Tone. And you made it just in time, MVP. Hello back to you in New Jersey. There he is, Mr. Liverani. He was pining for me to rock the flower shirt, and I will. When I'm closer, I was 18th row last night, maybe in Tulsa or San Antonio. I'm a little closer. It'll stand out more, I must say. But we'll get to tour merchant shirts as well. Hello, Joe Mantaneo. He says hello to you too, Jeremy.
Yeah. Hey, Joe.
That's right. Yep, Minnesota, and it was fantastic. Yeah, Ted is here too. Hello, Ted. He's off to another show in Buffalo. He's going to shuffle off to Buffalo soon.
A few people we know are off to Buffalo.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's right. And Pittsburgh, which I know James is going to say, you're still going to go to that one. Never say never, but I doubt it. Richard James. Hello, sir. Nathan. Hello. Yeah, it's a good day. It's a recovery day. So, Jeremy, all right, so it's Saturday the 18th. Tell us about Des Moines was what, Tuesday night, right?
Tuesday night.
Yeah,
Tuesday night.
Tell us about Des Moines. And Jeremy got on local Des Moines TV.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, there's a YouTube story, which I'll get to that. I'm going to try and be concise and not too long. So, flew in Tuesday morning. And arrived, was able to check in, stayed at a Hyatt that was about 4 blocks from the arena, which was perfect. So get in, was able to check in, and about noon, decided to go do a little dry run, walk over to the arena, just kind of get the lay of the land, see what everything is.
That's what you got to do.
Oh, yeah. Walked over, saw a few of the fans on the run. They're waiting.
You get there and you're like, okay, where's the venue?
Where's the loading?
You got to get the lay of the land. And then you're like, okay, I know where I got to be.
Well, that was it. And because of the fact that I got, I had 20th row, good seats, but I did not have hot sound, which you and I have talked about. That was a case of by the time I pulled the trigger, they were gone. Oh. But I'm like, I'll do the next best thing. I'm going to do the limo, watch.
Yeah.
So I ended up talking to a few of the fans on the run there. And then I said, okay, grab a little lunch, because in fairness, there is not a whole lot to do in downtown Des Moines. There's not a ton. Grabbed a little lunch at a local barbecue place, which is pretty good. And then went back and said, you know what, based on the info that you and Tom and Joan and others have said, I'm like, okay, you know what, get to the arena around 3-ish, around that time. So basically had lunch, went back to the hotel. Not even a 15-minute walk, but Des Moines is very hilly. There's a lot, like the arena is built into a hill, so there's a lot of up and down and all that kind of stuff, which is fine. Good exercise. So ended up heading back, and it was about 3:00, and maybe a little before that. Well, actually, I will tell you this funny story, with traveling and all this craziness was get back after lunch, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I might... I'm laying there. Let me catch up with emails, message some of you guys. And I'm like, you know what? this might not have been a good idea. Let me set my phone alarm for 2:45 just to make sure I don't sleep too long.
Hmm.
Sure enough, next thing I know, my phone alarm's going off. I dozed off for like an hour. I'm like,
Oh
okay.
man.
So I'm like, thank God for the alarm. So long story short, head over to the arena, and there's more fans down there. There was the young lady in that news story that was interviewed first, who was like 22, drove all the way, left at 3 in the morning, drove
Oh
all
yeah.
night, came to the show. I mean, she was very friendly. And again, just showing you never know who you're going to talk to. So there was this guy I was talking to next to me. Courtney, shout out to you if you tune into this. We've become Facebook friends, and which more to follow with that. So I was just talking to him, and and a group of people down there, and like, okay, hey, what are you here for? Where are you from? And oh yeah, I'm from north of Chicago, blah blah blah. Well, then the Channel 8 news truck pulls up about 10 minutes later, and with Abigail, the reporter, and her cameraman, and all of a sudden they go right up to Courtney, and he's talking to them and all that, and I just kind of elbowed him, and I said, boy, you must come to a lot of pre-shows and stuff like that. And he goes, no, he goes, I used to work for Channel 8 for 30 years. I'm like, oh, okay. And that paid off, because when Abigail looked at him and said, I want to interview a few of the fans for the
Mhm.
10 o'clock news. Who do you have in mind? So, of course, what did he do? He pointed out the young lady at the start. He goes, oh, she's been up since 3 in the morning, pointed at me and said he's from Chicago area. And then the guy at the end of the story whose 65th birthday it was.
Right.
So
That was.
he
Yeah. Yeah.
he put he put all that together and basically said, why don't you interview these three? So and she was great. She was very friendly. A fan. Would I say she was a diehard? No, but she definitely did. And the funny thing was, because right away it's like, hey, can you come over here, stand by the trucks? We want to get, the interviews. So they interviewed me second, like in the order of the story. And I had on a windbreaker jacket because, of course, everybody's like, oh, yeah, it was 75 and sunny yesterday. Well, that day, Tuesday, was like 50 and drizzly.
Yeah.
So I had the windbreaker on, and it was funny because she saw the wing shirt, the black wing shirt underneath, and she said, "Oh, I see the wing shirt." She goes, "Not that I'm asking you to undress, but could we see the shirt?" I said, sure. So took off the windbreaker, wore the shirt, and then
It's a
she
classic
did.
Wings one. You always rock it and
Yes,
stuff.
with the
Yeah.
76 tour dates on the back. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And she's like, "Oh, cool shirt." And then asked a few questions. She goes, and she literally said, "We may use 10 seconds of this. We may use 30 seconds of it. It's part of the 10 o'clock news." Wonderful, great. She was great. Took a picture, with her that my father and father-in-law definitely appreciated. I said, "Guys, she's young enough to be my daughter, but whatever." She was funny, and she was a
Sure.
fan. She was really like, oh, what songs you hoping he's going to do? I mean, really interactive, very cool. So we get done with that. She's standing over on the side. Then we see Brian Riddle start to make his way, which again, last time I saw him, he wasn't as completely snow white gray as he is now. And
Mm.
again, my first show in 10 years. So that
Was
tells you
it?
right
It was your
there.
first Paul show in 10 years.
I know I missed the last couple tours for a variety of reasons, work,
Wow.
vacation. So it was like this was the anticipation was building up. So at this point, it's like, okay, great. Well, then this Courtney again tells me, he goes, oh yeah, he goes, I have a buddy who works on the Des Moines Sheriff's Department. And he goes, he's always part of the motorcades for the celebrities and politicians. He goes, he's going to text me when Paul's on his way. Great. Again, just a good person to know. So we were out there. Here was the interesting part. Some friends were in at sound check. Sue, who's a big diehard fan, and then Sarah Schmidt and her mom. I know you know who Sarah
Oh
is.
yeah, Coral.
Sarah
Yeah.
was there. Sarah was there with me too. Shout out to them, and they were great. And yeah, so we were just there waiting, and Courtney set up with his photo lens, ready to get Paul, and he's got a little step stool. Well, then it's already 3:30, 4 o'clock. The hot sound people are inside, and Annette and Craig, who are again big New York and Chicago festers, great
Right.
people. I was on the flight with them on the way home. They're texting me saying, "Let us know when Paul is here." They're like, "Oh, Wix just came on stage. Okay, Brian
And
just came on stage.
yeah,
Where's
right
Paul?"
after that then. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so literally it was like 5 o'clock already. And it's like, no, Paul. So Courtney comes over to me about 10 after 5 and said, he just left the hotel. Finally, he'll be here in 5 minutes. Get ready. So I'm like, okay, wonderful. So got a few really good shots of him going by. Brian Riddle was
And
also.
if you're friends with Jeremy, they're all your pictures are on your Facebook, and you took some great shots.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, and Brian actually came up a little after 5 and told everybody, "Yep, you're on the right side. Paul's window's going to be over here. It's going to be quick." That was really nice. That was nice that he did. And of course, he told Abigail and the Channel 8 team, "Okay, you're going to get some good shots, whatever." And so he was great. So so then Paul comes by, and it's like, there he is. It's been a while. There he is. Clip, clip. You're doing this with your phone, and then at the end, I'm doing the wings hands, of course. and then that's when he went around and told the other guy, hey, happy birthday, and all that.
Oh, it was awesome.
So at that point, I'm texting the ones in Hot Sound and saying, and I think I might have been even messaging Joan at that time. And then they were in Hot Sound like, oh my God, he's so late. Maybe they're going to cut the sound check short. Well, we'll get to that. So I messaged them and I said, hey, Paul just got here. And they literally messaged me back 3 or 4 minutes later. He's already up on stage. So it was clearly get out of the car, go up on stage because the gates open at 6:30. So literally they said
6:30, not 6, as we painfully learned last night. People thought it was 6. It wasn't 6. It was 6:30.
6:30. Same thing. Yeah. So basically they were worried it would be cut short. It wasn't. I guess he ended the sound check right at like 6:30, right at that point.
Oh.
So what happened was after the limo watch, I'm like, okay. Then a few of us, Sarah included, were like, the merch truck is outside.
Yes.
Let's go get merch first, drop it at the hotel, and come back.
Smart.
And that's
you don't get bags anymore at these gigs. You buy a shirt, you pay $50, and you got to hold it the whole night. And you were smart to go back to the hotel.
Well, Sarah told a story of one of the past Paul shows where she put the shirt under her chair and a guy spilled beer all over it. And
that's out. That cannot happen. Cannot.
And you know what their answer was in the merch truck? It was their comment was, well, that's why we sell the tote bags. I'm like, the last thing I need is another tote bag.
The last thing we need is tote bags. I think we got tote bags on every door handle in our house.
Exactly.
Kitchen, front door, back door. We're toted out.
Give more.
Us a free bag.
No more totes. No more totes. So went there, spent literally. There was the interesting thing, though, on the merch truck. They had a sign there saying, taxes will be added after the purchase, like after the purchase. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's an Iowa thing. They're charging sales tax on it, whatever. Maybe. Nope. I bought 3 things, each of them $50. The total was $150. So it was like,
that's all right. That should never. Yeah, that merch has never been taxed at any of these. Now that's
exactly, and that's what I thought. So when I'm like, okay,
they're making oodles of money anyway. It costs them 10 cents to make these freaking posters that they're charging 50 for. This is not a rant. This is just an observation.
It is. It is. Well, that's why I passed on the program. The program was $60. And I'm like, no, forget it. So I did that. I mean, just to show quick, of course, the one, like you said, everybody's got that.
Everybody's rocking that black and white. What else?
Love it. Then I had to do that, of course.
Yeah.
Had to get that one. And then, of course, like I showed you before we went on, had to get the actual.
But let's talk about the poster because we had a nice little chat about these posters have been really, except for the Vegas one, which had like the kind of capped teeth thing.
Yes.
Which kind of looked a little, which I'll get through other ways, but not for $50. But the one you got, the one in Des Moines, is a really nice blend between Egypt Station and Ram. So there is a lot of thought going behind those posters.
There was, and a shout out to our friend Gabriella Weeks, who sent me that morning before I even got the email. Here's the poster, and here's the story behind it. Was the artist that said he did love the Ram album? Said, okay, I'm going to do a merge of his second album with his second most recent album. There's your tie-in, Egypt Station and Ram.
Can you hold it up again, Jared, just to show everybody? Just a little, just so we can get a little quick overview from top to bottom, look a little bit closer, right? So go up there. There's the Ram, and then you've got Back Tour in the Egypt Station kind of logo design, right? Really, it's a nice one. It is a nice one.
Yeah.
and there's the bottom of the date,
And
and
there's the dates.
and there's the date, and just an observation too. And Jeremy, I wonder if you agree with me on this. Is that
Yeah.
somebody said, "Oh wow, I forget," and we'll go back to the comments in a minute because I want a couple of people just chimed in. But with city-specific merch and Paul, this is not a new thing. Dave Matthews has been doing this for 20 years. I had a good old mate of mine back home who had his walls adorned with city-specific date posters and merch. So it's not anything new. It's just that the older guard is doing it now. The Who are doing it. The Stones are doing it. Paul is doing it. So this is not a new thing, but it's new for Paul. So I mean, that's
absolutely. I agree. Yeah, no, and you know what? But like I said, would I have gotten? I was telling you before we went on too. I was considering the hoodie for this design for $100, but I'm like, I took a pass on that, and I said, you know what? If I do Chicago show 1, maybe I'll do that. Or like you said, look, online
elsewhere.
wherever. Yes, elsewhere, and then also the other one was the program. I was like, it's $60 for a program. That's insane. But luckily, the two women that were sitting next to me, we'll get to that. One of them had the program, so of course I asked them, "Hey, do you mind if I page through it a little bit?" So of course I saw the thing on the archive collection. Stay tuned. The usual message in there. But anyway, that's jumping ahead. So took the merch back to the hotel. That was it. It was like, nope, not going to lug that around. Went back to the hotel, then came about little after seven to the arena. And I will say all the concerts, all the baseball games, playoffs, everything, football stadiums, this was the slowest line I've been in my life. Almost everybody.
More of this. These have not been handled well at all. Go.
Nope. Everybody was wanded. Everybody had the wand, and all that. Women's purses. There was a couple in front of me in line going through, and she tells them, "Do you have to go through my purse?" And the guy's like, "Yes." I mean, he was just like, "We have to." Yeah. The line was so slow. So finally, it was, oh God, it was about close to a half hour, maybe 7:40 or so when I got to my seat. So of course, warm up DJ. 7:40. Yeah,
that's late to get in there. Now by that point, I think the DJ Chris is doing his thing, and the scroll has started.
The scroll, and I caught the start of the scroll. The first picture I took was the one where it's that big, tall, old building with young Paul's face in it.
That's the Lyra building in Liverpool.
Thank you. And that was the start, of going through. So I'm like, I want to be able to see this. So I thought the scroll, obviously for me, not seeing the last tour or two, all of that was the different images.
That was new for you. So
all new for me.
You must have really loved that.
I loved it. I loved even the mashups were like Early Days was in it. Country Dreamer, loved all of that.
B-side to C-side.
Yes,
it's all in there.
Yeah, loved it. It was great, and I'm just like, wow.
Great. This is so cool to talk to you because you hadn't seen a Paul show in 10 years, so
correct.
This was all new for you. Wow.
Correct. The last, when I saw him at Miller Park in Milwaukee, the DJ, he was there. DJ Chris was doing his thing, but it was all different. Different screens, different songs, all that kind. He was doing more like the Twin Freaks stuff, whereas now it's more of, he's mixing in, some of the more recent stuff. So that was cool.
It's recent stuff. It's Twin Freaks stuff. It's a little bit. It's a hodgepodge of everything, really.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely. So got in. Luckily, the nice thing was I had 20th row, the fourth. So I was in seat 4.
20th row, like left, middle, or right?
Left. Okay, so in front of Rusty side, exactly. Yep. And then and actually Sarah Schmidt got a good shot of me because her and her mother were above like the one, whatever that would have been, 104, whatever level that was, and got one. Oh, there he is in the crowd. So she shared that with me. So the funny thing was that there was a couple, and then there was an empty seat. So whoever was supposed to be next to me, either the scalper got stuck with it or the person was sick. So it wasn't jam packed. There was a little bit of room. So that was nice. And then, I mean, just to cut right to it, I think it was 8:15. And the big bass, pops up, and it was just like, and there he is, walking slowly on, it's like, okay, everybody's screaming, it was all that help again, there's no controversy there. He did it great. Glad he did it. Loved it. Case closed. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
wonderful.
Case closed, Jeremy.
And
Yeah.
you know what? It was fantastic. I will say, for the 2.5 hours plus, only sat down twice during my Valentine. The area sat down, and here today.
Well, okay. Yeah.
So sat down for both of those. Other than that, was standing completely for the rest of the show. Everything was standing, and and Paul was joking a lot with the crowd, like before, "Come on to me. Well, we might do a couple songs that you guys don't know, but that's just too bad." Being sarcastic.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know how he
The
does that.
jokester. The
Yeah,
joke.
and that was fantastic.
In
And
a,
I was
in a discography spanning 55 years, a song that is about 8 years old is relatively new.
new. Yes, exactly. And yeah, and you know what? It was funny. I messaged your partner. I messaged Tom. And I said, you know what? And I said, I think I completely agree. When you are there in the moment, sure. Do I want to see him do more deep tracks, or what I wished him to, with the new Wings collection coming out, throw more in? Yes. But when you're in the moment, you're not sitting there saying, okay, it's Lady Madonna again. Okay, it's Let Me Roll It again.
You're not.
Okay, it's Let It. You're just into it, and you're
In the
in
moment.
a zone. So yeah, so deep down, because somebody was like, "Oh, gee, you hear that? You know what? You're in the zone. You're loving it." And case closed. And again, we'll cut right to the chase. He sounded. Again, it's probably time for Maybe I'm Amazed to Be Retired. Was easily the song he had the toughest time with.
Yeah, but it's
Again,
still he still sings it so beautifully.
it's passionate. It's passionate. He's throwing his soul in there. And I'm
Yes.
telling you this, I made a note. Two songs that it could have been, listening to the record, he was that good, in my opinion, was Let Him In and Dance Tonight. It's like, he completely knocked those out of the park. And again, they're not as vocally strenuous, those songs. Maybe I'm
No.
Amazed as he's all, that's just, and it was just, he sounded great. Yeah, of course. Were there cracks, here and there and stuff like that? Of course. I mean, the guy's 83 freaking years
That's
old.
fine.
And that's what I said. The woman next to me, I said, before the show started, I said, he's not going to sound like Beatle Paul or Wings Paul, because guess what? That's 50 plus years ago now. I mean, that is what it is. But he was great. His joking around, and all of that. And again, I will say, the explosions during Live and Let Die, they're coming. I still jump. I just
Right.
do.
And
It just.
I'm so happy for you, because it had been about 10 years since you've seen a Paul show. So for
Yeah,
those of us that have been blessed to have seen him recently in the last year or two,
yeah,
the fact that it's still so fresh for us, and a new experience for you, having seen it, knowing the set, knowing what, even though you know what's coming. And even
yep,
so, even 10 years ago, I would be willing to say that the set list is probably 2/3 the same now that it was 10 years ago, you
correct.
know?
Correct.
And it's
And you know what it is? He
yeah,
could sing the telephone book, and I think we'd be happy. You know what I mean? It's just, when you're there and you're in the moment, I'm
yeah.
literally not
Other
sitting there
other
saying, gee,
moments, yeah, other
yeah,
moments that are really nice between the band and stuff, and Joan has mentioned this before, is the Paul's interaction with the guys during certain songs. Joan cites Maybe I'm Amazed as a real band moment. The band is all connecting together. Another moment that I always notice is during Obla Di Obla Da.
hmm,
Wicks and Abe always have a little banter between the
they
whole
do.
arm and leg thing. When you
They
hear
do.
on the original recording of Obla Di, arm,
Yes,
leg, like the jokes and the banter between the band is like, it's like the show behind the show. Like, there's Paul,
absolutely.
and then there's the nucleus of the band, and their dynamic is
Correct.
so fun to watch, because they are just such a cohesive, tight unit, and
They are.
they have it down. It's such a
They do.
well-oiled machine.
They do. And I'm going to say this, like you guys had mentioned before, and I even got home, told my wife this. It was mini Abe. Like, Abe, his
Oh yeah.
shed, it
Mhm.
was like, Abe's like half the size, but boy, is he he is, what a drummer say in the pocket. He is laying the
Yeah.
foundation for those songs. And the band was great, and all that. It was, I was really happy, when Paul's like, let's give this band of mine, a big
Yeah.
ovation. That was great. And one other funny moment with his talking was, he was like, okay, how many of you, when he said that Nancy was there, he goes, oh, Nancy's here, her first time in Des Moines, and she's here. And so of course everybody's looking like, well, where's she at? Probably up
Yeah.
in the skybox or wherever. But
Well,
anyway.
In Vegas, she was on the floor, not far
Oh,
away
she
from us.
was.
Yeah.
Okay, because a couple of the friends, like I said, Annette and Craig were in like row 5, didn't see her. Sue was row 3, didn't see her. So their guess was, unless she was off to the side or whatever. But whatever, she was there. The funny thing was, Paul goes, okay, how many of you were from Des Moines? And there's an ovation. How many of you are from Iowa? There's an ovation. How many of you were from anywhere else? And it was a roar. It
Ah!
was a roar. And he was like, okay, it was just hilarious.
Yeah.
It was a great moment. It was great. And again, highlights for me, I put on there just songs that I have not seen him do live, like Letting Go, Come On to Me. Let me think again off the top of my head. I obviously I've heard him do.
First time seeing Now and Then live too.
Well, that was one of the moments. That was like just seeing that the crowd. It was interesting because again, before the song started, Paul was like, this is a song I'm very proud of, and all that. And before he goes into it, and yeah, it was just the moment with the video screens, and all that, and then
Updated,
the whole.
and they've actually been tweaked over the last year or two. Like they've updated some of those graphics, so probably new to you, but like they're still trying to find ways to tweak the whole production of it, even with
absolutely
things like that. And even like the I always cite like the kind of dramatic beginning of Live and Let Die, where the lights go dark and you hear the guitar, right? Kind of the build up, and then little things like that to really make a show a spectacle.
Correct. And that's it. I mean, and of course I've got a feeling, first time I've seen that with the John footage.
Yep.
Fantastic. I mean, absolutely. Because that was one I had in my brain. Okay, let's see how, that is, and seeing it, because of course I've seen all the YouTube videos of it. And I was like, that was really cool. That was definitely a cool moment. A lot of the images, and stuff like that, the classic with the Band on the Run album cover coming to life, behind them, and all that footage, that's always fantastic. So, I mean, the guy can put on a show. I mean, 83 or 33, the guy can put on a show.
He can.
And it's just, it was amazing. And then we got out, and a few of us ended up, there was an English pub a few miles away, or not a few miles, a few blocks away, that we went to, that was I guess on show nights stays open later, show or events of any type. So we were probably there till about 1:30 in the morning. So it was like, okay. And then of course they were saying, you gotta, pull the trigger on the Chicago. Of course I'm there and I'm like, let me pull a Vivid or StubHub and see what those Chicago tickets are running again. So, but it was fantastic. Man,
like you're there. You got to go.
Well, you know what it was? It was, our buddy too, Bob Gannon. I was like him. I'm like, we need a new roof. That kind of was what took priority first. And then it was like, as I mentioned to you, the one that really intrigued me a bit, if I was able to swing, would have been Tulsa. Never been there. That would have been kind of cool. Yeah. That would have been cool. But Des Moines, it was basically the show, like that downtown area, like a lot of cities, a lot of empty buildings post-COVID, the hotels saying, a lot of people work from home now. So there's just not a lot in the area to do. But the KC Center was, there was no issues around me. Everybody was into it. The one observation I will say, though, is what you'd sporadically look like on the floor, and it's like, how are those people sitting, during whatever moment, during maybe Now and Then or something like that.
Sure.
And you realize it's first generation fans who probably can't stand for 2.5 hours. That's why they're sitting. I mean, it's my parents' age. I mean, I get that. So
if you're in your 70s, if you're in your 70s, that's a long,
that's a long time to stand. So, but otherwise I will say overall, the crowd, outstanding. Like I said, stood for almost, just those 2 songs set, which was good then for my feet, give them a little bit of a break too. But it was, even you look in the 100 levels, they were up, as much as we were. Was it very lively?
Was it a sellout, Jeremy?
Yep. They had on the box office, they had a big sign, big thing in saying tonight's event sold out. So they had that. So no, it was, you looked up in the corners and people all the way around the 300 levels up in the corners. So Yeah, so that was it. But no, it was fantastic. It was great to see him again after a long wait and missing the last couple tours. So it was fantastic. And like I said, I'm not sitting there thinking, geez, man, I would love them to do, Find My Way or Women and Wise. You know what? You're in the moment. You're loving it. It's after the show when you're thinking, saying, man, it'd be cool. But you know
Oh
what?
yeah,
Again,
always.
at
But when you're
83,
in
he's going to do what he wants to do,
and
and
you're
I
in the
respect
presence
him.
you're in the presence of
A
a musical
master.
giant and a master. And to quote your words, as you said on TV,
Yeah.
if you watch the video, Jeremy
Yeah.
says he's on Mount Rushmore, and he certainly is.
Yes, he is. He
And
is.
the at the start of the show, we talked about Jeremy's appearance on that local Channel 8. That link is in the comments. If you want to go to that link,
Thank you,
watch
guys.
the video. It's in the comments. If you want to watch Jeremy make his appearance on local TV, there
Thank
is the
you.
link for that. And let's just catch up on some comments here.
Yeah.
Just a lot of people joined late, and we'll just say hello to some people here.
Yeah.
Nick Cyrette, hello, man.
Hey, Nick.
He's overseas, I think, right
Yeah.
now. Best to you.
All the best, Nick.
My friend Boyan
Boyan.
down under. He's down under. Hello. We got the whole fam except Joan here. Wow. As Joan just said, wow. Yeah, Paul's been staying at the Four Seasons in these cities, as we know. Tony's here, of course.
Hey, Tone.
Nathan's here. Hello. Tony D.
Tony.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, MVP.
Martinez, thank you. Tony asks, how did it take them this long to work out a poster for each gig? It was a money spinner, meaning like it was planned. Well, I'm sure it was planned and ahead in advance, as it was.
Yeah.
Joe asks, were there posters on the first leg of the tour for each city? I only remember seeing the one poster where Paul was looking at the sunset on the pier. Yeah, back in 2022 when Paul was in North America, I believe there was only one poster. There wasn't city-specific shirts or posters back then.
Yeah.
The Wings book comes out on the 4th of November.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan says, I can't believe it at his age how Paul does what he does. Well, listen,
Amazing.
Paul McCartney and You Want for Nothing, you can be 83 and do a show like that because you just can.
Yep.
MVP loves him. I'm amazed. Love when he sings it, even though he knows it's not perfect. He knows so many of us love that song. Right?
Yeah. Amazing.
And Mrs. Beatley Tone agrees. She says, I don't care how he does it. I still want him to keep on doing it. Yes. Nathan says, I love Live and Let Die. I saw Paul in, I think, 2007. He came to Illinois. Well, maybe
Tinley Park. Yep.
Tinley Park, which is where, okay, I'm sure you were at that show too, Jeremy.
Yep.
Yeah. James Boyce across the pond. Hello, sir. I think having the horn section benefits from this. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Those Hot City horns are a great addition.
My first show seeing them, and they were great. Yeah.
What an addition, right, to the show now, having live horns, Jeremy?
Yeah, like coming up it just boomed, with the horns and all that. Absolutely. Fantastic.
Yeah. Hello, Ed Crawford. Happy belated birthday to you. Yes, sir. The link does not work in the UK. Oh. Sorry, I'll find a way to send it to you, Mrs. Beatley Tone. Ryan. Ryan is another buddy of ours. He was at the Denver show, and he was in Hot Sound, and we're going to have him on at some point to recap his experience, too. Stay tuned. And I heard that was a great show, too. Great poster for that one, too, with Coors Field. Did you see the poster with Paul holding the bat with his helmet on? Did you see that one?
Yeah.
A cool poster.
Yes. That was
Rich,
a cool poster.
Any update on the Nashville resale ticket situation? Oh, not on with this.
Oh, boy.
Not that I've heard, although I know that they're totally not accepting it now. They're just saying, okay, they're not accepting it. So I don't know if there's been any kind of refunds or whatever. So you bought resale, Richard, right, on Ticketmaster. So you're in the same situation that a few other people are, which is really, really bad. I would just, if you already have accommodations to go to Nashville, I would keep them and just, do your damnedest to talk to the box office people or something. I mean, there are, if you want to DM me, there are ways you can try to contact the office or whatever, AXS, and try to see, get on a list. And also, too, like the day before the show or the day of the show, they will drop tickets. Now, Nashville is going to be the hottest show on this tour, so they might be limited. But I know that Joan told me for Santa Barbara, the day of, 40 tickets dropped, and that was a limited engagement too. So my advice would be, if you're going there, just keep going and try to get something the day of to do that. Christian says, hello, Andy and Jeremy. I know you can't go by phone recordings, but I have to say Paul sounds better than we've heard in recent years.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did sing coming up.
Song number 2.
Song 2. Nice that it's been a sound check staple for a long time, but he's brought it back into it, which is cool, So, that's catching up. All right, so I guess we can go into Minneapolis now.
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, again, big arena. I think it was bigger than where you were, Jeremy. I think it's like 60, probably, I think 45,000, Tom said, was there. Because they do block off all the seats behind the stage that are not sold. And I guess we could just have an observation on Paul playing in these kind of sports arenas. And, these arenas were not built for concerts, right? So a lot of people have complained about the acoustics at these shows. Now, you were on the floor in Des Moines. I was on the floor. I generally think that if you are in the floor and the speakers are coming right at you, you're absorbing that sound. If you are seated upper on the side, that's where the acoustics can kind of get bouncing. If you're on the floor, that sound is coming at you, right? So you're going to get absorbed in it. But if you're in 1, 2, if you're up 300, acoustics can be tough. And these stadiums were not built for that. They were built for sporting events. So you've got to know that going in. If you're expecting an acoustic, majestic thing, like an intimate gig, you're not going to get that here. You're just not.
Correct.
So it is what it is. I mean, if you're there, you're in the 300 section, a lot of times you're just happy to be there. But, the purists are going to be like, well, it didn't sound that great. Well, because you were sitting higher. That's all I'm really saying. But Minneapolis, my first time here, the US Bank Stadium, really nice place. Facilities to get there. You have a train to get here and stuff. Getting there was no problem. And as you said, Jeremy, I got there with Tom about, 5 o'clock. And, again, the trailer merch thing was there, kind of all enclosed. You want to play cornhole, you want to eat, you want to drink. You can do that, right? But then everybody starts queuing up thinking that the doors are going to open at 6. They didn't. And you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. And like 6:30 now like, you go through the security scan. Now you're getting up to like the doors of the actual arena, and they put like a rope in front of you. It was like herding sheep, and like it was just a cluster. And I saw a friend of mine who was in sound check. I saw the doors open up, and I'm like, okay, sound check's over. Another 10 minutes. Oh, okay, Paul McCartney just finished his sound check. Now we're gonna let you in. And I'm telling you, it was almost like a stampede. It was just not organized well at all. Like, I mean, I get it, but like you've got to tell people, you've got to give them like a head notice, like doors will open up at this time, and people thinking 6, it's not, it's 6:30, and you get in there, and this is not like some small arena. You got 50,000 people.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Trying to get inside. It's a zoo, So
isn't that the Vikings football stadium?
It is where the Minnesota Vikings play, and but that was that aside, and the merch tables too. Every merch table inside was a zoo. That's why I wanted to get the one and only shirt that I did splurge for yesterday was this nice embroidered red, white, blue, because this one you can't skimp on this. Like, I don't care if you got to go official on this one. So
yes,
had to get that one to do that. But I was in the 18th row center on the aisle. So again, closer to Brian, and had a great view of Paul. And again, I didn't have hot sound for this one, but a great seat. Yep. And a supporter of the show, Rick Clevin, who we've met at Fest in Chicago. He was there on the 4th row. He was 4th row center. He had a great seat. I got to see him real quick. And again, lots of people, lots of young people, lots of kids, really encouraging to see. And I sat next to a really nice couple, and I'm going to actually have them on my own channel to get their experience. They're about 25, and they've never seen Paul McCartney. You see, and that is... Paul's shows are designed for those kind of people. They were amazed. They loved every minute of it. I introduced myself. I said, do podcasts. And they were like, but you see, that's Paul. Listen, we can go and be satisfied because we love the man, and we're going to go support him in any way. They go and they're hearing these Beatles hits for the first time, these Wings hits, and they are so he's satisfying both. He really is. Yeah. So, I mean, the same thing with you, the acoustics. Like I had no problem with them, but I think Beatley Tone said that he knew somebody that was sitting up and the sound wasn't as great. You really can't tell when you're that close. Yeah. Let me just catch up on comments here. Hello, John. John Aiello, great dude. How are you, man? Yes. He is the best. And again, the jokes are the same. Like you talked about, how many people from Minneapolis. And again, a few people were, but most people were not.
Yes.
Just like Des Moines.
Yep.
But yeah, highlights. I mean, you can go. I did sit down during my Valentine, as you did. That was my break. I didn't leave. I just took a break. But everybody else on their feet for the whole time. And it was just nice to be in a big stadium like that, but also close. And Vegas was that way at Allegiant, and now this one was here too at MS Bank. And again, it's only about 10 years old. But the thing is, now the start time, the video screen that goes up. Again, I think it was about 8:20 by the time Paul came out. But just an observation on that video scroll, and I know it was new for you, but I've seen it probably 4 or 5 times now. It is. You're watching the man's life. It starts with early days, and he's a baby, and he's with his brother Mike, and there's a picture of his mom there too. Look at it again next time you go to his show.
There is.
Paul is saying, "Here's my life from birth to where I am now, and all of it, It is so. That is just part of the whole thing. And when you watch it, like this guy is so comfortable with his legacy." He is carrying on the Beatles' legacy because that is what drives. That's his love. That's his love. And when you watch that scroll and it ends before the bass, as you were saying before, Jeremy, the bass comes up, the last thing you see is the Beatles on the rooftop. Like this guy loves his history. He's comfortable with it. He is like, look, I'm carrying the torch for the band that I was in by paying tribute to George Harrison, by covering multiple John songs in a show. Like, I've got a feeling like it is a celebration of life, of music, of partnership, loss, sadness, all of it in a 3-hour show. I mean, when you think it's incredible, and it's a rejoice of life and happiness and love and family and all the things that we love as a Beatles community that draws us to this man.
Absolutely.
So I was not disappointed at all. I had a great time. Your feet are tired after standing all day, as I'm sure you can attest from being outside and the limo lodge. And you go home and you're very satisfied.
Yes.
You're really satisfied. Side note, leaving the gig was not so great because it took me 2 hours to get back to my hotel. Show ends at 11 o'clock. It's not close. And I always credit, Joan Borelli. She's always like, get a hotel right near the stadium.
She's right.
I love that advice. Got the train back. I'm trying to catch an Uber. I ended up walking on the street to catch an Uber. And I stepped on a manhole cover that was not secure. And my foot went into the freaking street and almost nearly broke my freaking leg.
Oh, boy.
At 1:30 in the morning. That was not a good way to end the night. The manhole cover, like a manhole cover should be like solid. You're walking on it. I walked on it and it went boom.
And it popped. Yeah.
And I went right down. And luckily some people around me helped me up and I was okay. Oh. But that was not a good way to end the night.
No, absolutely not. Not with 60,000 people around either.
No, but a nice city here, Minneapolis. Everybody's been very friendly. I always say that once you get out of the New York area and people like yourself, you're always you're from Chicago.
Yep.
People are so friendly. They take their time. Where I come from, it's like, get out of my way or get ran over, and that's it.
Correct.
So it's just refreshing to have a conversation with somebody on the street, or they see your shirt and they're polite, respectful. It's like where we come from, it just is unheard of.
Absolutely. Same here. Yeah. No, Des Moines, the people were very friendly. Hotel, a lot of people staying at the hotel because, again, it was so close. Even there was a couple at breakfast the next morning that were locals that were like from, Sioux City, which is a bit of a haul. They're like, nope, after the show, we were crashing here and then going home.
That's it. So, that was so, again, same set list at both shows.
Yes.
He hasn't changed anything up yet. I don't expect it to happen. Maybe in November when the Wings comp drops, he'll work a Wings song in there. Maybe Junior's Farm returns back into it. I know that was nice. Sound check. I think it was in sound check last night. I'm not sure, but I'll be in Tulsa. I continue on the road for the next 2 shows between Tulsa and San Antonio. Hot sounds. So we'll see. Jeremy, any chance you decide to take a plunge and go to another show other than Chicago?
Well, I would normally would. Well, a lot of our entourage, a lot of our mutual friends are going to the Atlanta shows. So the Bob Gannon Army will be going to the Atlanta show. Problem is my 20th anniversary is a few days after that, and we have a trip then to Miami. So that is where that kind of cuts in there too. So it was like I told Bob G. I said, I would love to be there. I said never been to Atlanta, but it's like, yeah, no. I think if I'm going to splurge, it's going to be really good seats. Chicago, probably night one, just with my work schedule. Like I would work, that's a Monday night.
Yeah.
And the Tuesday, I would be able to work from home. So if I'm half asleep, I can kind of disguise it a little better. So there you go.
You
So
might be able
probably, yes, yes. So it's probably Chicago night one is what I'm looking at.
All right. Let's catch up
Yes.
with the comments here again. Ed says the world is a better place. Absolutely. Ryan says I absolutely love the scroll and the DJ. Yes. The scroll. I mean, I wish I could have watched your impression of the scroll because that was new for you. I'm sure you loved it.
Oh, loved it. Loved it. Yeah, and the deep cuts. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, come on, man. That's rough.
Oh boy.
That's bad. Yes. I was okay. Yes, we certainly are.
Yes.
I used musician hearing aids. They filter out the reverb and noise. Good to know.
Okay.
No, there was Wing Songs MVP, but like nothing outside of like the usuals, like Band on the Run and Jet and Letting Go.
Let me roll it.
Let me roll it. We're talking about like if he's adding, other Wing songs, maybe. No,
Yeah.
the usuals were in there, of course. And I must say, Jeremy, too, I don't know if you agree, the placement of the song Jet in the set list, like 2/3 into the show.
Love it.
That's usually has historically been early.
Yep. Love it.
He has really strategically placed it as I kind of pick you back up because you've got Blackbird Here Today, Now and Then, right? And then Lady Madonna. And then after that, like you need something that kind of has a recharge. And then they go right into Jet and you're like,
and everybody goes up. Absolutely. Yeah. And then the woman next to me, it was two girlfriends next to me. And the one commented at the beginning, she goes, it's cool. He was like rotating for all. You get Beatles, Wings, Beatles, Wings, Beatles, Wings. You get that kind of, you've got coming up. Then you've got, I'm just thinking early on in the set, oh my God, my brain. But where he's rotating more, whereas at the end, it's very Beatles centric.
Yeah, as it should be. I mean,
yeah.
Even like a song like Let It Be, which I'm sure all these songs are just like, they're played like to perfection, almost like you could, and the band is so tight. I do think Let It Be is played a little bit faster these days. Would you agree?
I would agree. I thought that instantly in my brain. I'm like, oh, it's a little bit, not that he's rushing through it. It's just the tempo's a little faster. Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, Abe's got a real steady beat during Let It Be, and when you hear the original recording, it's not that fast. But I mean, let's face it. I mean, by that point in the show, Paul's probably like, okay, I'm ready for a Macarita, which
correct
you can get when you walk around the venue. You can get the Macarita.
Oh, at Des Moines, it was a Strawberry Fields drink. Was what they were advertising. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
boy.
It was a Strawberry Fields. It was only available at like two of the bars throughout the arena, two of the mini bar, but they had signs, Strawberry Fields drink tonight only kind of thing.
Yeah. Macarita. Yeah. So I've got a little slideshow of pics and videos that I took that I'm going to put on my Instagram recapping the night.
Nice.
And everything else from last night, which I'll post later, but we're just wrapping it up here. Steve Madison, hello, sir. Last night was epic. Show number 15 for him. Awesome. Going back to 93, one of the best. Letting Go was magnificent. Certainly was.
Yes, it was.
Checking out the channel, man. Appreciate that. And the and what'd you think of all like the laser lights on some of the songs, like 1985?
Fantastic.
Like the lasers on some of those songs are it's really pretty cool, right?
Oh, I mean, the lights are, again, having not seen them for 10 years, it was all new to me.
It's all new to you.
Impressive. Very impressive. Very, like I said, even with the explosions, it's like, I know they're coming and I still jump. So there you go.
Yeah. Beatley Tone said, blind man, you need to be careful. Oh, please. To hell with them. Beware those man. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Manhole on the Run. Oh, here we go now. We've got a whole thing. John Ayala says Paul should try "Beware My Love." Certainly is. That'd be a great one. If it, drop, "Beware My Love" in there again, be tough. That'd be a tough one for him to hit these days vocally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. I think we're going to wrap it up. So
cool.
Yeah, a little recap of Des Moines with my buddy Jeremy, and Minneapolis last night. I believe it was show 14 for me, seeing Paul.
Yeah. I think mine was looking back was number 10. So I finally hit double digits.
You hit double digits, man.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
And more to come. More to come.
Yes, I do. Yes. Thank you for having me on, Andy.
No problem. I will be live tomorrow. My Sunday live, which I haven't done in about 3 weeks. That's going to be on my own channel, The Backwards Traveler. On YouTube. That'll be tomorrow at 11:30 local time, 12:30 Eastern. Paul trivia based, all that good stuff. That's going to be tomorrow here on YouTube. Look for more content from us as the tour rolls on. Yes. This is my second leg. Tulsa Wednesday, and the Bob Dylan Center, the Woody Guthrie stuff. I can't wait to see all that stuff.
Nice.
So good reports coming your way.
Enjoy Tulsa.
Yeah, we'll do. So everybody in the comments who was here today, Ryan MVP, John Aiello, thank you. Tony, Ed Crawford, Mrs. Beatley Tone, the MVP, M. Burley, John Aiello, I think I said, Beatley Tone, Christian, Richard James, don't give up on Nashville, man. Keep trying.
Yes.
Nathan.
Good luck.
Mr. Boyce, Joe Mantaneo. I want to make sure I try to get this. Isn't easy to do here. Nick Syred, Mr. Liverani. I don't know if your dad was here or not. Ted Rookie. I think that's and Elvin who kicked us off. So everybody, thanks for watching this little Midwest recap here of Des Moines and Minneapolis, and the show runs on. So we'll talk to you soon. Stay safe.
Very good.
Enjoy the music, and long live Paul and Wings.
There you go. Thanks, Andy.
So long,
Take
guys.
care, everyone. Bye-bye.